welcome back. Now, as you can hear, we have the music on with us again today, so that's very good. But in the meantime, about a month ago now, on the 21st of January, hundreds of thousands of women gathered in various cities around the world to make themselves heard. Now, it wasn't just about the inauguration of the new American President Donald Trump, but women used the momentum as a platform to make noise and give themselves a voice, basically. The Women's March was iconic in that it mobilized millions of women worldwide and started conversations. Now we'll have a Women's March of our very own here in Jakarta next month in the March. Now, to tell us more about it, we have Vivi and Stephanie, who are coordinating the event. Hello, girls.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I like how today it's all about women empowerment. Yeah, especially we have a DJ there who's the only guy today. All right, now tell us a little bit about the Women's March that's coming up next month.
Yeah, so the Women's March is, as you say, in solidarity with women across the world, responding to current issues, not just in the US, but also we really want to take the opportunity to talk about local issues specific to women in Indonesia. So, for example, we really want to help push forward the RUU Penghapusan Kekerasan Perempuan, or the
violence
laws,
against women.
Yeah, like laws protecting women from violence against in their intimate partners or against, loved ones, basically. We also really want to bring into spotlight more issues like sexuality, healthcare, and just protection of women from various angles in public policy and in the workplace.
So this is the first time a Women's March is actually held here in Indonesia, in Jakarta. There was one in Jogja.
There was
one in Jakarta. I think it was on February. It was, but I mean, it was just like because of the solidarity of what happened on the Women's March in the US, but it was like on a smaller level, and probably the issue is not very localized in Indonesian context. But what we are trying to bring in this to next month's Women's March is more on the issue that is faced by women in Indonesia.
Yes.
Now we talk a bit about the issue the women face. You mentioned a couple just now, but what is the #1 biggest issue you would say that it's still, right now not even acknowledged or many people are not aware of?
I think if there are a lot of issues, but if you want to distill that, I think ultimately it's like intersectionality of women's issues. So what that means is the women across the boards and from different social classes, orientation and ability have differences in their representation and the ability to protect themselves and be themselves in the public and private space. So I guess, and also the awareness of the public that a lot of work still really has to be done. I think a lot of people see, oh, we have Megawati as president before, we have a lot of ministers who are women, and we have a lot of amazing women figures in Indonesia, and they think that Indonesia is already there, right? But there's actually a lot of women who are still struggling in different parts of Indonesia. And there's a lot of women who need protection from the government and from just people in their communities against their violent partners or against, sexual harassment in the workplace, etc.
And you two are coordinating the event, right? So how many of you are actually doing this or holding this right now?
The organizers there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of I would think around 8 core coordinators.
Yeah, there's like
coordinators,
8 coordinators, but like the whole organizing committee, there's a wide range of individuals. We have students, we have activists, and we even have like
celebrities, because in the march in the US we have Madonna, Alicia Keys, so many
they're going to be part of the Women's March. They're going to be like part of the overall list, the orators, but the performances as well. But like during the organizing committee, when we organize this, like we also consist of a lot of organizations. It's actually started with like a group on Facebook. It's like a Jakarta feminist discussion groups, and then
a secret Facebook group.
Secret Facebook group. Okay.
Secret Facebook.
Approval only.
All right.
But then starting from that, we have like this discussions about like I think we should, because we have this momentum and we have this platform that we can use to raise the issue of like the challenges that women and any marginalized groups that is faced right now in Indonesia, because I believe that we're not immune to discrimination in Indonesia. So that's why I think like it started from from there, from like there's a lot of discrimination that is happening in Indonesia, and then after that discussion, there's a lot of organization that is helping us and joining us. There's Aliansi Damai Tanpa Diskriminasi, and then
that's
there's
the main organizing body.
Okay.
That it's not really a body, but it really, I think the core focus here in this Women's March is uniting a lot of different organizations and groups, be it environmentalist groups, human rights groups, women's groups, or even LBHs or various pro bono law groups. All of this, we're basically trying to unite people under this umbrella organization in order to march for women's equality and gender equality in Indonesia.
Have you approached any influential person, basically, to actually come in and speak out and be the voice of this march itself?
Yeah, we have some well-known people. Well, we're not.
Okay, so it's a secret yet. All right.
Yeah, and it's going to be like represent in each issues that we are going to have. So, so in each issue we have like different influential persons. So it will be more representative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So altogether, how many issues?
8. So there's
8 issues, yeah? So 8 organizers, 8 people to actually speak up and voice up about those issues. Now, how many people are expecting for this march, though?
Well,
a lot?
Right now we have like around 300 to 400 confirmations,
Okay.
but there's we are hoping that we can have more.
Around
actually.
700 people said they are maybe attending, and then I think we're really inviting even anyone who is curious about this event, if they're not fully aware of it yet, just to come and show support. And then I think it will be a really good chance for people who are not usually in the activist community to meet people in those communities and see, especially since we have over 10 organizations, to find an issue that they can resonate with and become passionate about, and help society become better by being involved, because I think that's what we want to push participation.
That's true, yeah. But how are you currently promoting or campaigning this event?
Yeah, social
media.
Social media, all right.
We're millennials.
Most of us in the groups are millennials. So, but like we also realize that the power of social media is very big. So we are using Facebook for the confirmation. So we have like a Facebook event, and then we have Twitter and also Instagram account. You can follow us on at Women's March JKT, JKT, Women's March JKT. So you can just follow us, and you can get updates
and
on our event. We will have pre-event this weekend.
So the pre-event this weekend is like poster making for the event, and then we have hat knitting,
all right, so there are a lot of activities as well. All right, that is interesting. Now tell us more about it, though. What's going to happen on that day, on the event?
That's a Sunday, right?
And the event on a Women's March?
Yes, on the Women's March.
Prior, the leading up to the Women's March?
Any upcoming programs?
Yeah, so the poster making will be this Sunday.
Okay.
And
prior to the
event. So this is when we can invite people who want to be involved and create posters. So I think there's a poster making infographic also that I've shared with the producers, and
also a way to promote the event.
So design your own poster, and then when you've watched the Women's March last time, they had really creative, the really creative posters. So this is your chance to basically input your individuality to say, what issue resonates with you. One thing that we're saying is one thing is jangan atur tubuhku. It's like a chance for you to become involved. And then there's a
pussy hat knitting, the knitting thing. So it's just because what happened in the U.S., they have their specific hat to be wear, and then we're trying.
Are you having that as well here?
Yeah. There's a knitting workshop to make.
Also hat.
Yeah, hat.
To make those hats.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, now here, we take a look at this now. This is a women march, is it?
Yes.
Yes, and are you going to have something like that here as well?
Yes, we're actually going to have different, I'm going to do a small performance. But
you're going to do a performance?
There's the dances that people are going to do as well. So we're trying to really make this a community effort. We're going to try to do a die-in, which is where we lay down and then, to signify the woman we've lost to violence. But I think what's really interesting from here as well is that the core members and core supporters of this movement are, longtime activists and established people. The lead coordinator, Olin Montero, has been in this space for a really long time. So we're also going to try and tie in, new millennials and their kooky ways, and also like really trying to push for specific things in the government to push forward with our 8 tuntutan and our 8 demands for the government and society.
All right, so this march actually seems like something that could be fun as well, but also sends out a very serious message. Yeah. All right, we're going to go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about the Women's March in Indonesia. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're still with Vivian and Stephanie to talk about the Women's March in Jakarta, the upcoming Women's March in Jakarta. And I just know we spoke a lot. And now, can you tell us a little bit of what's going to happen? What are we expecting to see on that day itself in the Women's March?
Yeah, well, I tell you about the oration that is going to happen. I hear there's like 8 public figures, not public figures, like important, influential people that is going.
Pertinent people who knows about the 8 demands.
Who knows about the 8 demands, and also probably someone that is like resonate to the issue, like they have the experience, so they can tell the crowd what is actually the issue about and what are their experience about the issue. And then also there are some performance, but it's not like just a fun performance. Like we're trying
There's
to
a symbolic performance,
something that you know it's fun to see. But
And
also
one of you is going
going
to perform?
Steph is going to
All
perform.
right, okay. So everyone's stuff is going to be there performing. And then where will you be marching from?
It's marching.
We're starting to gather at 10 a.m. in Bundaran HI, or the Hotel Indonesia Monument. And then we're going to start there. We're going to organize there. We're going to have the orations there, as you said. And then we're going to have the performances, and we might do a die-in, which is when people lay down and then to signify people's deaths by acts of violence. And then we're trying to get the permit to march from Bundaran HI to Sarina. And along the way, we're gonna hopefully, give people signs and flyers to learn more about this event and our demands, and basically really talk with people about the issues, and then invite them to become more active in their community as
to support one another as well. Now, has anyone ever, when you make such an event that is considered quite, let's say, sensitive, sometimes women issues and all that, they're bound to have people harass, intervene. Has there been anyone who's done that so far?
So far, no.
So people are really quite supportive with this. What about the government, though?
Well, the thing is, like, the people that we are trying to demand to fulfill our demand is the government, but by far,
so far they've been receptive.
They're just going with the flow.
I think they're thinking that we're not going to be giant. After compared to FAE, I don't think they're like threatened by a bunch of women.
By a bunch of women, but they don't know how powerful women can be.
So if we can possibly shut down Bundaran HI, that would be
good. Everyone will take a look at that and notice, okay, this is how much women can do, and of course, because we're facing with a lot of issues. Will you be addressing any specific ministers, organizations during your
not really,
event?
because all the issue are like it's like a cross-cutting issue. So I believe like each ministerial levels or any department of any government, they could have like intervened in all of those issues. So basically we are demanding these demands to the government in general, but I believe like they have like the specifics. They know
which
issues,
one to,
which
all
one
right.
is like to go to which department.
That totally agree with that. But also I want to, in particular, one of the demands we want is for the DPR to really pass that bill, and then the MK to stop the judicial review of the bill against adultery, premarital sex, and different kinds of sexual orientations. But I think what we're saying is that the cross-cuttingness of the issue is because even if you are the Minister of State-Owned Enterprises, I think those kind of ministries should take accountability in terms of how they treat women in their organization. So, making sure that mothers have the support they need through childbirth, or even if they're a single mom, make sure that they have enough ability to balance that, and also in hiring practices, right? Not discriminate between women, and allowing women to come up into leadership positions.
That's true. Which do you think we're still lacking here in Indonesia in that position?
Yeah.
And do you hope for more governments or
So,
big organizations to
for
actually
example, Justin Trudeau in Canada, his cabinet is 50% women, 50% men, because in any country.
In Indonesia, we haven't even gotten 30%.
Yeah, we
at
haven't
all.
gotten to 30%.
And particular in Parliament right now, it's 17%. So we need more qualified women in order to become Parliament members and be chosen by the parties to become Parliament members in order for us to be represented in government. So when they're talking about legislation on women's issues, they actually know.
But my question is, though, let's get to something a bit serious. I know it's too early in the morning for this, but what do you think is why do you think there is such a big still a gender gap here in Indonesia? Do you know?
I think part of it is the perception that
what are we lacking here?
I think the perception that women's place is in the home, and then if you're a career woman, you're given this double-edged sword that you have to become a great mother at the same time
juggle work and also home.
That's for middle class and upper class women. You have to be great at these two things, and then oftentimes I've always heard people be like, "Oh, don't be too smart. You're gonna intimidate men," that kind of thing. I don't know about you. That's a few things, and also I think just the institutional. I think if women grow up, being told that your main priority in life should be become married and have children,
become a mother.
That goes very much. I think demotivates you when you face a struggle in life.
That's true.
Especially when you are in a rural area, because there's the stigma, and that it means young women, they are limited. They are being limited to go to have a better education.
That's true.
So that's kind of
opportunity is not there, right?
They keep thinking that the short way to get out of the poverty is to marry someone rich, but actually when women have a better education, when they have a better opportunity to do something, it could not, it will be better not only for her, but also for the next generations itself.
So what is it that you can do actually, basically, to give them, to make this, make people more aware of the importance of education for women, to actually promote this kind of thing? Before you have been organizations, right? You also have that. Have you done anything so far? Like maybe go to schools, give seminars or anything like that to educate women into having a voice for themselves?
Well, particularly for the Women's March, we haven't done that, but I've been working with several organizations that is actually, their mission is to promote women's empowerment and also young people's empowerment. And so there have been, for myself, I've been doing that for the past 5 years. So I've been in a rural area in West Java and also in any part of Indonesia to basically talking to the government and local level, because I believe when you are in a local level, it could be much harder to convince them because of the nature that is going on over there.
Culture as well. Okay. So this March, we're expecting how many people? 400 to 500?
Hopefully more. yeah.
The more the better.
right?
More,
So
yeah.
women out there, come on up here, join the march. This is to, support your fellow sisters, right?
Yeah.
Basically. And what outcome or, what do you expect out of this march, after this march?
I think just greater awareness on the women's issue is the main thing. I want people to recognize that a lot of violence is still going on in this country. A lot of structural problems is still going on in this country, and there's still a perception problem that maybe Indonesia has had really great women's figures, a lot of really powerful women, and they think that means that we're there yet. We're already there. But there's still a lot of women from different social classes, places, and areas in Indonesia that still doesn't maybe have some of the opportunities that we women in Jakarta do. And so to really create this feeling of sisterhood and solidarity for women across Indonesia, but also across the globe, in order for them to learn more about women's issues and become an active citizen and member in their community to help out when they're needed. For example, for them to know about bystander intervention, which is to say if they know someone in their community which has violence in their marriage or in their loving, intimate partner violence, for them to step in and know that they can be advocates for people in their community as well.
Oh, well, that's really good, and I really hope that a lot of women will come and join the march. And at the end, there's also you mentioned programs prior to the upcoming march, and this Sunday for the
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday
for the knitting workshop, but I think it's fully booked, right? But I don't know. But you can check on our Instagram and our Twitter if you want to have more information. On Sunday, we will.
So where do they check on your Instagram? Where do they go to?
At Women's March JKT.
At Women's March JKT.
And for Facebook, it is Women's March untuk Perempuan Indonesia.
Women's March untuk Perempuan Indonesia.
Yeah.
All right. All the best to you girls. Although it's fully booked for this Saturday and Sunday, but don't forget
Sunday
is still on.
Sunday is still on, all right. But just, try to stand up for one another, women especially, give support. And also, if you'd like to come for the march, you can, right?
Yeah, it's
totally
open for public.
Yeah,
so.
even bring your husbands, children.
Bring your husbands. That's right. Bring your children.
My boyfriend's coming.
See? All right, then. Thank you so much, girls.